Welcome back everyone to Motorcycle.com's new rider series. In this final installment, we are here at Yamaha HQ to go over how to accessorize your motorcycle. So for here is an example of how to accessorize your bike. We have this MT-03 with a few little doodads added onto it. The most obvious thing you'll see here compared to the stock bike behind me is you've got this windscreen. It may not sound like a whole lot, it looks kind of small, but it really does block a lot of the wind from hitting you. And if you're going on a long ride, sometimes that wind can really fatigue you. This helps with that. Over here you have some levers. This is a replacement clutch lever. The cool thing about this, one, it looks cool, but two, you can adjust the angle of it to fit your hands better. In the front, there's a radiator guard. That's a really important protection device, just in case a car or a bike or something in front of you like kicks up a rock and it hits your radiator. That could end your day right then and there. So that's an important thing to have. And then in the back, we have a seat cowl. If you look on the stock bike, you can see there's a big chunky seat back there. But some people, they don't want to ride with the passenger. They just want to go solo and do their own thing. And so they'll guarantee themselves the opportunity by putting a seat cowl on, ditching the stock seat. You save some weight too. For some people, they really care about that kind of a thing. So these are just a few examples of what you can do to accessorize your bike.
Are there other style-related things that we can do for the bike?
Oh, for sure. You can change out these mirrors and put really cool looking mirrors on there that are like more edgy and stylish. Even these blinkers, you can change those out. Get something that's more narrow, slimmer looking, more profiled. You can even change the bars out to make it all black so it matches the rest of the bike. Change the angle of it all too. Same thing with pretty much anything that's not the same color as the bike. You can probably get something that's gonna replace it to match the color of the motorcycle.
Now, when it comes to protection, is there any other accessories or pieces that you could put on this bike to add more protection to it?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I already mentioned the radiator guard in the front. There's things called frame sliders, frame protectors. They're same thing, different names sometimes. It's basically a block of plastic, more or less, that mounts somewhere along the side of the bike, it's different depending on the bike. But it mounts up here and they're pretty thick, so in the event the bike falls down, that's the thing that hits the ground first and not your actual bike.
Got it.
And then there's things like engine covers that go on the sides of each case. So those are the things that hit the ground first, not the actual engine, should the bike fall down. So there's stuff like that you could put all around the bike. All right, guys, enough talk about accessories. What do you say we put something on this bike?
Yes, please.
So what we have here is a Yamaha genuine accessory brake lever for the MT-03. Who wants to put it on? Rosslyn, of course. Here you go. Tools you need to do it. What you're gonna do is unscrew these bolts, take that off. The brake lever is gonna come right on out. The importance of this here is, you see this hinge right here? Yeah. If this hits the ground, it's just gonna fold upwards and not break off. That standard one, if it hits the ground, it's just gonna break.
Okay.
So that's one cool thing about it. The next cool thing about it is you'll see there's a dial right here. So this allows you to move the lever forward or backward depending on how big or small your hand is. So once it's actually resting in its position, you can turn the dial forward or backward, and this is gonna go up, down, whichever suits your hand best. Cool. Aha, cool. I'll take that, I'll give you that.
Okay,
so this is gonna go in between here. That's gonna go in like that. Align the hole and then screw it back into place.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
What a difference.
It's way better.
Nicely done, Rosslyn. Nicely done.
Thank you. So if I was going to go on like a longer trip or needed to carry stuff, what would I use?
Great question. As you can tell, there's nothing actually on the bike that allows you to do that. But there's a lot of Yamaha accessory parts that are available. For instance, there's a tank bag that goes here. It goes on your gas tank. It's a big bag. You open the top, fits some stuff in here. You can easily take it off so you can put gas in it too. But the more usable thing you can use, soft luggage like these saddlebags here. Now, this isn't how it actually goes on the bike. There's actual mounting kits that secure it to the motorcycle, but you can open them up, look through them. Like they can hold a pretty decent amount of stuff. And these are both expandable too, so if you really are packing for a long trip, you can make these even bigger.
Oh yeah, I see, that's right on the side.
Yeah, you see those zippers there?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you can hold a ton of stuff. And then like the other day we were talking about, there's even another case you can put in the back here. So if you combine a tank bag here, these two cases, and another one right in the back, you can carry a ton of stuff if you really want to just get away for more than a weekend.
So how durable and how practical is it to have something like this and like having your bike like your everyday transportation?
Yeah, good question. I mean, there was a time in my life where my motorcycle was my only means of transportation, and so it can be done. And a lot of these parts and accessories are weatherproof or even weather resistant. So if it's raining outside, that's when things can get a little hairy on a motorcycle. The cases will get wet, the luggage will get wet, but the stuff inside will stay dry. I wouldn't recommend going to the hardware store and like buying huge pieces of lumber. But otherwise, you could totally make a motorcycle work for you.
Cool.
So we all know that stickers and decals add 5 horsepower each. But on a serious note, there are things you can do to make your motorcycle perform better.
So what kind of adjustments could you make to your bike to make it ultimately go faster or quicker?
I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, because there's so many things you can do. You can make your suspension better. You can add a slip-on exhaust to add more power that way. But what I have in my hand here, since you mentioned going quicker, this is called a quick shifter. Now, generally speaking, it's gonna go down here with your shifter. What it does is, normally when you are riding the bike, if you wanna upshift, you'll pull in the clutch, click your foot up, and you'll go into the next gear. With one of these, you don't even need to bother with the clutch. You just keep going like this, click your foot up, you shift up to the next gear. So go, go, go. Your left hand pretty much doesn't do a thing. It just click, click, click. Now on downshifts, you still gotta use the clutch and do it that way, but that's what makes these things really cool, is the ease that it provides is so cool. It makes you go faster and quicker.
Are there any other performance enhancing parts that we can use?
A lot of people, they go towards putting a new exhaust on the bike to make it sound cooler, bring a little bit more power that way, and that's definitely gets your blood pumping, but in my opinion anyway, having better suspension on your bike, it absorbs the bumps in the road better, it just makes the bike feel more planted and stable that way, and ultimately it's safer, whereas an exhaust isn't really doing a whole lot other than, yeah, it sounds cool and gives you like 1 or 2 horsepower, but I'd say suspension is a great place to start when it comes to making your bike perform better. What do you guys think you would add to your bike?
Me personally, I would definitely use the quick shifter just because not having to pull on the clutch to shift gears seem like it would help out a lot, and the suspension for sure, because who doesn't like a comfy ride?
Yeah, well, there's that.
What about like tires? Is there performance enhancing tires?
Totally. You can totally change tires and get better performing ones that are stickier or ones that'll last longer if you're gonna be doing a lot of miles. But if you ask me, the #1 performance enhancing thing you can do to your motorcycle is actually enhancing yourselves. And what I mean by that is getting proper training beyond the basic course you guys took. And once you understand beyond the basics of how to control a motorcycle, it just makes everything else you do so much better, so much easier, and so much more enjoyable. So above all, before you spend any money on the bike, spend the money on yourselves. All right, guys, the big day is here. We're at Willow Springs Raceway for one last practice run. So tell me, what are some things you want to work on?
I mean, honestly, I would really like to work on smoother shifting and overall control of the bike.
Okay.
I'm excited to play on a new bike and just get overall more confident and better.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
it's gonna be fun. So let's hop on the bikes and let's do it.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Go!
Thanks for watching, guys. Now, we recommend doing this same thing, whether it's at a racetrack or just in a big parking lot somewhere. Practice, practice, practice. From all of us here, thanks for watching once again, and remember to please ride safe and like and subscribe.